Hi guys, it's Ben Heath from Lead Guru, and in this video, I'm going to explain why your Facebook ad results are not consistent. It's something that a lot of Facebook advertisers struggle with, something that a lot of people try to fix and really tear their hair out over. I'm going to explain why they're not consistent and actually what you can do about it in this video. Before we get into that, I want to very quickly ask you to hit that thumbs up button. That really helps me out and is much appreciated. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, so to demonstrate this, this fluctuation in results that happens all the time when it comes to Facebook advertising and that really annoys a lot of Facebook advertisers struggle with, I wanted to bring up a campaign, right? So this is an example campaign that was run for, I don't know, what's that, 5-6 months. It's a traffic campaign. We spent just under £1,000 on it, and this was just promoting content to our warm audiences. Actually, no, not just warm audiences, but warm and cold audiences. Just sort of ticking along in the background for an article that we were testing something out along, which is why not much was spent given the length of time. But what I wanted to show you was not so much the number of results, but of course they fluctuate big time. You know, we're talking 152 link clicks on that day versus 77 just a few days afterwards. But we did change the budget around a few times, so that's a little bit. If you're changing the budget, that's obviously going to affect how many results you generate massively, right? The important part is down here in the cost per result. And I think this graph here tells you so much about what you need to know and what you should expect when it comes to your own Facebook advertising. So, firstly, the starting cost per result, and our result in this case is link clicks, as you can see, is quite a bit higher than what it ends up sort of settling as, right? Not only is it quite a bit higher to begin with, the fluctuations are also significantly larger and the spikes at the beginning. Why is that? Two things. A, the learning process. You are seeing Facebook's learning process in action there. That is why the longer campaigns run, the more you spend, the more results you generate, the better they perform. You can literally see it perfectly. Starts off higher, but about 9p per click, with lots of big fluctuations and spikes. The longer it goes on, the more, not only does the actual cost per result reduce and stay low, we're talking 5 cents, 6 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents down here, but it's also much more consistent as well, okay? And that's exactly what we expect to see because that's how Facebook's learning phase works, that's how their optimization process works, it's getting you better results, generates more consistency and a better cost. It's why so many people they pause and stop advertising after a week, 5 days, and declare this isn't going to work, and you think, oh, if you'd have just given it a couple months, you'd have been at half your cost per purchase, and that might have been the best thing for your business you could possibly imagine because now you can scale. Anyway, but it's also that, but there's also we're learning from this campaign, right? So I think we had 2 or 3 different ad creatives running for this one article. So some of these fluctuations will have been testing, they will have been pausing stuff, we tested a few audiences. So not only is Facebook learning, but we're learning, okay? So if you look at the average for that first, say, couple months, we're gonna be up over probably 10, around this period, maybe 11 pence per link click. That comes all the way down to an average of like 5 in this spell and like later on as well. We can see a bit of a spike here, but that's because of Christmas and New Year. Look at the dates there. So we halve our cost per result here. And when you're talking from 10p to 5p, this is a link clicks campaign. So, you think, oh, what's the big deal? But if that's going from a $40 cost per purchase to a $20 cost per purchase, which it absolutely can do, that's really significant. So the whole title of this video is why your Facebook ad results are not consistent. They're not consistent because Facebook and Instagram advertising campaigns operate in the real world. A lot of people want to treat Facebook and Instagram ads like it's a video game. Like, video game, you're going through the levels, you're not playing against other online players in this scenario, you're going up against like the computer, the CPU, right? And they do the same stuff all the time because they're a programmed computer player, and that when you go through that door, an enemy is going to approach you from the right and you need to turn and take him out, okay? That's not how Facebook and Instagram ads work. You are not operating with CPUs on the other end. You are advertising to real human beings. And because real human beings are heavily affected by external factors to Facebook and Instagram advertising, that has a big impact on your Facebook ad results. So a classic example, I mean, I live in England, right? Everyone knows that the weather in England is terrible. When the sun is out, like everyone just dives outside because it's out so infrequently. Everyone's desperate to be outside and enjoying it. So on those days, we certainly see less ad impressions, worse results, basically across the board. Not for every single business, but for most. You know, if you're selling sunglasses, okay, great, you're doing well. But for most businesses, because Brits are not on their phones in front of their computers as much on a sunny Friday as opposed to a Friday where it's raining. That has a big impact. That's not something you can predict in advance. Well, not with, you know, a long time frame. And it absolutely should be taken into account, and there is nothing that you can do about that. The exact same happens with other external factors like big news events, right? Right now, for example, England are just about to play in the final of the Euros. You do not want to be expecting your Facebook advertising results to be fantastic whilst England are playing their biggest soccer match for, 55 years. Not in England, at least. You can advertise in other locations, but you don't want to be expecting great results in England for those 3 hours. It's not going to happen, and that whole day will be affected as a result. These things, big weather events, big news events. We had so much with the pandemic and the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff, where you could track it. You could track in the results when like a new lockdown was announced or something was eased or something like that. These have massive impacts on your results, and there is nothing you can do about that. Absolutely nothing you can do about that. Okay? The other factor that you're not only advertising to real people, not CPUs, you're advertising against real people and not CPUs. So other advertisers' activity on Facebook and Instagram are also going to have a big impact on your results, and that is going to lead to massive fluctuations. This is even more the case if you advertise to a smaller target audience or in a local area where the impact of a few big players has a greater impact on the cost. So Facebook advertising is priced via an auction system. It's as close to a perfect market as you can get. If there's more people advertising, more money being spent, the cost of Facebook ads goes up. If it is 3 days before the end of a quarter and a massive car manufacturer has big leftover budget and they go, quick, let's dump it into Facebook in Bristol over the next 3 days, that is going to have a big impact on your Facebook advertising results. If a big player comes in, they get like investment and they've got tons of money to spend on Facebook and Instagram ads, and you operate within the fly fishing for Scottish salmon niche, and someone's just moved into that market and they've increased the total ad spend in that niche on Facebook, by 25%, that is going to have a big impact on your Facebook and Instagram results, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So the only way to really improve your consistency is to control what you can control, accept what you cannot. A lot of the stuff I've talked about means you cannot affect those things, and they will have an impact no matter what you do. You need to control what you can control and not do things to make the situation worse as opposed to make it better. So you can be consistent with your advertising. Don't tweak with things every day. Keep them just ticking along. Make adjustments, of course, and add in new ads and things like that, but not every day, every 7 to 10 days at the most. Sometimes less frequently, particularly if you're using a lower budget. Don't be super erratic with your offers. Don't be offering one thing one day, another thing another day. You want to provide consistency within your ad account, which will then feed through to consistently see your results. Same with budgets. Don't be spending, $3,000 a day one day, $300 a day the next, back up to $2,000. If you can keep your stuff consistent, that's really going to help your results be consistent. So it's more like, don't constantly fiddle and tweak with things to make the situation worse. Other than that, there's so little you can do other than just time and patience. And it's one of the hardest things I've had to learn that over a decade of being an entrepreneur, and it's really hard time and patience solves so many issues and so many mental headaches. Look at this campaign as the perfect example of that. I could have been tearing my hair out that on September 23rd, we had a cost per result of 9p. 2 days later, or 3 days later, it was 16p. I could have been like, what? How has it gotten that much more expensive? Going mad, what's going on? Why has this happened? Who knows? I don't know what happened on September 26th. Could have been a big news event. Could have been really great weather. I think this was just being advertised to the UK. No, it was being advertised internationally. But could have been a big news event. Could have been all sorts of things going on that day. Could have just been natural fluctuation because we're not advertising to CPUs. Could have been that someone else in the Facebook ad space was advertising a more interesting article for those few days. And that was competing with my ad, and they were doing that a few days and they stopped advertising it. It also could just be that Facebook was testing and results fluctuate big time. You know, if you've given Facebook an audience of 2 million people, well, they're not going to advertise to all 2 million. They're going to advertise to like 20,000 here, 20,000 there. They're trying to work out which part has got the best results. And that is why the key to consistency is patience and allowing things to play out. And this campaign shows it massively. Look at how the results A improved and B leveled off. So there was less fluctuation. Now there's still fluctuations, right? So look, we can see here that on that day it was 5p cost per result, dropped down to 4. Not that long. It's on the 20th of December, we're looking at 7. And here's another great example. Things really spike back up again for Christmas and New Year, which is not surprising in the slightest. You've got 9p here, 8p, this is just after New Year, and things then begin to drop back down as we move like later January into February and things like that. Again, that's exactly what I would expect given how things like Christmas and New Year affect Facebook ad results because they affect people's behaviors, right? There is still, even though we've got more consistency here along this part and better results, there is still fluctuation. So, we've got 4p cost per click there, all the way down to 3 on February 9th, back up to 7 on February 13th. Okay, that's more than a doubling from a few days. Again, if you're looking at that, tearing your hair out, you're just causing yourself an unnecessary headache. So how do you get over that psychologically? And so much of, all digital marketing, all business is obviously psychology. Yours as a business owner, founder, entrepreneur, by the way, not manipulating your target audience, your psychology, is to just not care about those short time horizons. I will not check and worry about campaigns that have had a cost per purchase, let's say, or a cost per result double from 1 day to 3 days time. I will look at longer trends than that. And if we are seeing a doubling from month to month, now that's a big deal. That is something we really need to address and deal with and do something about. But if we're just seeing, it was $10 cost per purchase on Tuesday, then 12 on Wednesday, 15 on Thursday, 18 on Friday, and then Saturday was back down to 12, Sunday was at 10, Monday was down at 9, Tuesday was 12, Wednesday was 15. That's all fine. That's all expected. That's all fine. It's the averages that matter. So just assess your results over a longer time horizon. This is particularly important post iOS 14. Assess your results. Look at 30 days as a always to have in your mind. All right, what's my average over 30 days? Oh, I've had a bad few days. Let's have a look at my average over 30 days. Oh, actually over the last 30 days, our results look very similar to what they did the previous 30 days. Okay, we're fine. Just a little blip, just a few bad days. So basically the takeaway from this video is your Facebook ad results aren't consistent because Facebook ad results aren't consistent. That's so much of it. And hopefully that gives you some relief, helps you calm down, helps you relax. But also on top of that, shows there are things around time, around optimization, around you not being an erratic Facebook advertiser that will help improve your performance and help improve consistency. It's not like you're completely helpless, but I think so many people want a system where they're like, no, I want a $20 cost per purchase every day, no matter what. It's not gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. And trying to go after the impossible, you're just gonna make yourself crazy. Control the controllables. That is not the controllable. Okay, before we go, a couple of things I want to mention. The first is a free webinar I've created called 3 Killer Facebook Ad Strategies to Double or More Your Revenue. Something I'd strongly recommend you go through if you haven't already. It shows you the exact sales funnels and strategies that we use as a Facebook ads agency to deliver fantastic results for our clients. Very much tried and tested. And the reason why I've got 3 in there is because there's different ones for different business types, and that's super important. You need the right type of sales funnel for your products and services. Otherwise, you are just dead in the water. It's not going to work. So don't underestimate that. Go through the webinar, completely free. Link in the video description. I think you'd be glad that you did. Other thing I want to mention is our Facebook advertising services. So my company, Lead Guru, is a specialist Facebook and Instagram advertising agency. Excuse me. We create, manage, and optimize campaigns for our clients. So if you want better results on the platform, we can almost certainly help you achieve that. The next step, if you are interested, is to book a free call with one of my team members. Again, link in the video description. Just go through, book it right into our calendar, and we can discuss how we might be able to get you better results. 30-minute free call, no obligation. We do ask that you have a 3K minimum budget, so please only book a call if you are operating with that ad spend. We just can't work with businesses that aren't there yet. Maybe if you're not there yet, you will be one day, which would be great. And yeah, best of luck with it, guys. Comment below to let me know this is useful. Comment below with questions. Hit that thumbs up button. That makes me very happy. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye for now. Bye.